On I-75, you can pick up the downtown connector, which is slow, but not so bad compared to that red alert, and westbound delays as well as you approach Boulder Crest Road trying to get through I-675. Latest on I-20, Ashley Frasca.
Stalled bus was blocking the right lane. Now everything on the shoulder lanes are open. 20 eastbound passing Thornton Road. It looks like construction already setting up, causing a tap of the brakes over in DeKalb County. I-20 eastbound between Wesley Chapel and Panola Roads. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today, high 90, lows tonight in the low to mid 60s. Tomorrow, sunshine with highs in the upper 80s, low 90s. Dry conditions continue for Sunday with sunny skies, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
And again, this FBI press briefing scheduled now for 9:30 after the president's announcement this morning that they have caught the alleged killer of Charlie Kirk in Utah. That has not been confirmed yet, but we are awaiting word from the FBI right around 9:30 this morning. We will bring it to you live. 66 degrees in Roswell, 67 in Fayetteville, 67 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Jed Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
What Judge just said, yes. Allegedly, the assassin, the Charlie Kirk assassin, the suspect, apparently now in custody. That is the big breaking news you've heard develop over the last hour here on 95.5 WSB. Welcome to the special edition of the Mark Arum Show. As Judd mentioned, the FBI is going to hold a press conference in Utah in about 25 minutes or so. Whenever it starts, we're going to bring it to you live in its entirety here on 95.5 WSB. And ironically, we didn't get word of this from a leak from the FBI, from Homeland Security, from the Utah Police. We heard this break that the suspect was in custody on Fox and Friends this morning. President Trump in New York City. He went to the Yankees game last night on the 24th anniversary of September 11th. Stayed, I'm assuming, at Trump Tower last night, and this morning took the beast over to the Fox studios and made this announcement within the last hour on Fox and Friends.
I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job. You know, getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant that was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. You know, it's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But, yeah, I think we're in great shape. Mr. President. And he's in custody.
Yeah, so President Trump this morning on Fox News, and it is amazing that they have him in custody. We talked about this yesterday, Deborah, because of where the shooter was shooting from on the top of the building and the chaos with thousands of people there at that Charlie Kirk event. He had a hell of a head start getting out of there. Sure. So the fact that they were able to get the video, find the weapon, and now, again, President Trump, and it was weird that the way he made the announcement, he's like, with some certainty we have him in custody, getting reporting now from the New York Times verifying what President Trump said. Apparently a man in his 20s was taken into custody about 11 p.m. local time Thursday night by Utah State and local police. That's according to a law enforcement official who confirmed the details of President Trump's remarks to Fox News. Federal authorities not releasing his name because they are still in the process of pursuing leads and executing search warrants, according to the official who requested anonymity to discuss the details of the ongoing investigation. More from, this is Glenn Thrush from the New York Times. The man currently being questioned by law enforcement as part of the investigation to the Charlie Kirk shooting was arrested in St. George, Utah, near Zion National Park. About 250 miles southwest of the campus Kirk was killed. Again, that's according to a law enforcement official who requested anonymity to discuss the details of the investigation. 250 miles. So he had to have some sort of transport, Deborah, to get there in 24 hours, to get 250 miles away from that campus in Utah. But again, breaking news here. President Trump says, I think we have them. We do have confirmation. Again, we have a suspect in custody, right? Not confirmed, but they're saying suspect, not person of interest. So obviously, huge development. The FBI is going to hold a press conference at 9:30. We will bring it to you live here on 95.5 WSB. Just simply remarkable. I want to continue our team coverage. Joining us from ABC News, former counterterrorism coordinator at the Department of Homeland Security, John Cohen. John, good morning. As always, thanks for your time. After what we've seen recently, are we just staring into the abyss? And are we about to fall off a cliff in this nation when it comes to political violence?
I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think, and you and I have talked about this before in the past, this country is in the midst of a highly volatile and dangerous threat environment. We are a polarized, divided nation. Increasingly, people view those who disagree with them not as people to debate, but people to hate, as the enemy. We also have an increasing number of people, particularly young men, who feel that their life is so bad that the only way that they can address what they feel is a strong sense of personal grievance is by engaging in violence. We have an increased number of people in our society who believe that violence is an acceptable way to express your opposition to government policies, your opposition to one's political views, to target those whose lifestyles differ from yours. We also are seeing an increasing amount of criminal activity and violent activity fueled by an online ecosystem that's saturated with content that's purposely put there by foreign and domestic threat actors for the purposes of inspiring and instructing people how to engage in violence. That's the threat environment we're in right now. And, while I sound pretty pessimistic about it, there are bright spots. Just over the weekend, while we were focused on swatting calls across the country, we were focused on school shootings, we were focused on the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we also saw Pierce County, Washington, stop what was, in their words, a pending mass casualty attack by a young person. So we know we can stop these things, but we have to come together as a society and make it a priority to do so.
John, it seems like these things are happening more often than they were in the past. But this isn't a new thing, right? This goes back over the last decade or so, seeing these examples of, quote, political violence.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, back in 2011, we had the shooting of Congresswoman Giffords in Arizona. We had a shooting at a congressional baseball game. We had a kidnapping plot of Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. We had a district judge targeted in 2020 in New Jersey. We had the attack on Nancy Pelosi's household. We had the shooting of 2 New Mexico state legislators and their spouses. We had 2 assassination attempts against then candidate, now President Donald Trump. We had a firebombing or a targeted arson of Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's house. So, I mean, over the last 10 years, your point is a really important point. We have seen a steady pattern of targeted political attacks. We also are seeing increased attacks directed at law enforcement, increased threats directed at election officials, and just was being reported the last couple of days, we're seeing an increased threat directed at Republican and Democratic members of Congress. And that's one point I would just want to stress, because sometimes it gets lost in the noise of our political discourse. This isn't one side being targeted by the other side. Both political parties, elected officials and candidates from both political parties are being targeted for this violence. So it's a problem that is in the vested interest of those of all political beliefs to address.
You mentioned the politicians, the candidates, the judges being targeted in this political violent environment. But Charlie Kirk, none of the above. He's just a political figure. Any advice for people that are in the public eye that talk politics, that might upset some people that watch them or listen to them? As someone that worked at the Homeland Security Department, do you think we'll see more public figures increase their security as they're out and about?
I think we will. I think that there's several answers to your question. First, law enforcement needs to change its playbook to some degree, and it's beginning to happen. They need to understand and fully realize that because of the political environment and threat environment we're in, events that in the past would not require stringent security measures need to be looked at differently. And that's going to put a strain on their resources. They also need to do a better job working with mental health professionals so that when people come on the radar screen that are exhibiting the behaviors that may forewarn or may indicate that they're spiraling toward violence, that they have the ability to assess the risk by that person and then take steps in the event that that person is deemed to be high risk of engaging in violence. And communities across the country are doing that more often, and they are stopping attacks. But your question also raises another issue. What does the political class do? Not just those running for office or those in elected office, but those who are on TV or at events. I mean, people should have the right to strenuously advocate their political beliefs and their ideological beliefs. That's what this country is all about. But what people have to also be mindful of is that the way they promote their political beliefs may at times throw gasoline on what's already a raging fire as it relates to threat. So that's the debate we have to have in this country is how do you strenuously advocate for what you feel is important from a political perspective, but at the same time do it in such a way that you're not demonizing or potentially directing violent acts towards the people you disagree with. And that's going to be difficult because, as you and I have talked about in the past, there are a lot of people out there that are angry, they're scared, they don't see how they fit into where the country's going, they're seeking a sense of clarity and security, and very often, it's just human nature, it's easier to blame somebody than to work with people you may disagree with in order to address these problems.
Scapegoatism, for sure. John Cohen, ABC News. John, as always, appreciate your time.
Great to be with you.
That's John Cohen, former counterterrorism coordinator at the Department of Homeland Security. Again, breaking news here on the Mark Arum Show. President Trump announcing on Fox News this morning that a suspect in the Charlie Kirk assassination is in custody.
I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job. Getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant that was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. It's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But, I think we're in great shape. He's in custody.
Yeah, so getting some new information now since President Trump, again, was on Fox News last hour. This coming from Kristen Holmes from CNN. The suspect in the murder of Charlie Kirk apparently confessed to his father that he was the shooter, and then his father told authorities and secured his son until they could arrive to pick him up. So that's brand new. The suspect in the murder, in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, confessed to his dad that he was the shooter, and his dad dropped a dime on his kid and told authorities and then held his son until they could arrive and pick him up, and apparently was picked up last night at around 11 p.m. And now this just popping from the New York Post. We have, according to the New York Post, WSB Radio has not been able to independently verify this, but the shooting suspect has been ID'd as Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old from Utah. That, according to the New York Post, an exclusive there. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson from Utah, ID'd as the Charlie Kirk shooting suspect, again, after his father turned him in. Deborah, that makes sense if he's from Utah and where he was picked up. Again, New York Times reporting that the man being questioned by law enforcement was arrested 250 miles southwest of the campus in St. George, Utah, near Zion National Park. So I guess that's where at least his father lives. But, the developments are coming fast here now. Suspect of the assassination of Kirk in custody, turned in by his father, and the New York Post is identifying the suspect as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson from Utah. We are going to get more information, we hope, at 9:30. FBI is going to hold a press conference. We are going to carry it live here on WSB. Right now, though, we got to check the Friday morning commute at 9:18, live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Here's Mike Shields.
And Mark, a red alert continues over 2.5 hours later. Crash investigation on 285 eastbound, the outer loop at I-675. Traffic diverted off on the Moreland Avenue, and the delays start back at I-75. Continue to work your way into the city, taking 75 or I-85 north onto the connector northbound, and then on to I-20 eastbound as an alternate. No timetable when this investigation will wrap up from DeKalb Police. The support is brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Head to your local Whole Foods Market for September stock up. Save on meal solutions for busy schedules, including fresh produce, pantry staples, and household essentials now through September 16th. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
All right, thank you.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my word!
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 10 a.m.
It's the Love Your Home Minute from TE Certified. Hi, it's Chris Chandler with Josh, the local owner of TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You know Josh, that is him you see jumping out of the backs of their trucks. Welcome back, Josh. Talk to me about something you did at your house that was a real game changer that helped you love your home.
Indoor air quality. So one of the first things I did to my air conditioners was put in a UV light to capture and kill all the bacteria and things floating through my air conditioning system. I put in a high-end media filter so that would capture any dust and particulate coming through my home. UV lights are awesome. You see them in hospitals, you see them in factories, you see them in places where they make food. It's going to kill any living thing that's passing through your air conditioning.
So if you're in a home with little kids and pets, this is really something to think about.
Absolutely. I've got 3 boys and a dog, and I got a wife I want to keep happy, so I have lots of very nice filters. I have lots of UV lights, and of course I have a humidifier.
Yeah, I actually had UV lights installed at my home from TE, and it has really helped me love my home.
TE Certified, we love your home.
Is your main drain clogged? We'll get it unclogged from my pals at Reliable. Hey, it's Mark Aram with you. Check this out. An amazing deal. $89 main drain cleaning promo. Clear out your main drain with my friends at Reliable. Same-day service available. No hidden fees or extra charges for after hours or weekends. Don't be stressed by your main drain. Get it unclogged from Reliable. Book an appointment now online at reliableair.com or call or text 770-594-9969.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well. And I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
It might have been a minute, a little bit over or a little bit less, but it was very quick. I was talking to a Deseret News girl, looked up because I heard a crack, sounded like a firecracker. Looked to my right, saw Charlie, and saw a whole bunch of blood just gushing out of his neck.
That's Henry Dells. He was a witness to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Welcome back to the special edition of the Mark Arum Show. The breaking news, President Trump announcing this morning on Fox News that a suspect is in custody.
The father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but I'm just giving you based on what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so apparently the shooting suspect, who has been identified by the New York Post as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson from Utah, called his dad and said, "Hey, I am the killer of Charlie Kirk." And then his dad dropped a dime on him, called the authorities, and the authorities picked him up apparently late last night. He is now in custody. Crazy developments on this just horrific story out of that Utah campus. We are going to bring you live the FBI press conference scheduled for 9:30-ish. It's usually never on time. Judd, last time we heard, the last press conference about 24 hours ago on the show, we heard from the FBI agent in charge, and we also heard from Bo Mason from the Utah Department of Public Safety. I suspect we'll hear from both of them again today.
Yeah, those have been the point guys. I think they were most of the day yesterday, so I would think so.
All right, but again, absolutely huge developments. Again, I've not seen any other news outlet confirm this, but according to the New York Post, Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old from Utah, has been ID'd as the Charlie Kirk shooting suspect. He called his dad, and I think, and we'll find out clarity from the FBI press conference in just a little bit, drove 250 miles to his Utah home, and that's where the father called law enforcement and held his son there as they came, and then they came and arrested him and are now questioning him. Further details, we hope, will be coming shortly from the FBI press conference out of Utah. Again, we're going to carry it for you live here on WSB Radio. Very curious to see what, if any motive has been declared yet. There were some ramblings and some hypotheses on social media about markings on the gun and the shell casings, but those were backtracked by law enforcement, saying that wasn't necessarily the case. Hopefully we get some clarification on that, on motive, if the suspect was a college student, if the suspect had a criminal record. But again, major developments in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. A suspect in custody being questioned. New York Post identifying him as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson from Utah. And his father called the authorities and said, "Listen, it's my son." That would be a difficult call to make, I know. And you would imagine the dad was like, "I'm calling you, but please don't kill my son when you come arrest him." Unbelievable. Again, the FBI press conference will begin shortly. We will bring it to you live right here on 95.5 WSB.
We are here with CFP Matthew Decker of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Matt, you have created a 20-question guide that asks the pointed, sometimes uncomfortable questions about where you stand in retirement. And you have to ask yourself, who is your guide?
That's right. Who is your guide? We sometimes think of retirement as like a mountain that you need to climb. And if you're going to ascend the mountain, it's important that you have a guide that has been there before, who has helped other people accomplish the same task. And we've seen that this is so important. There's so much value in the financial planning world. But if you don't know what's accessible, if you don't know what questions to ask, if you don't know what kind of value you should be receiving for the fees that you're paying, oftentimes you don't get it. So we created this guide to ask those questions and really point you in the direction of the type of service, the type of value that you should be receiving for the fees that you're paying if you're engaging a professional money manager or financial planner.
All right, so Matt, how can we get our hands on this 20-question guide?
We want to make it as simple as possible. So you can call us at 770-280-1488. All you have to do is tell the representative that you're looking for our 20-question guide. You can also go to our homepage, retireatlradio.com. You can send us a note there. Just let us know you're looking for the guide. We don't need your email address. You don't have to create an account. It's not protected by some kind of paywall. This is something we want to provide to you for free so that you can know, am I getting value for the fees that I'm paying? It's complimentary, created by us here at the Vincent Financial Group. Again, 770-280-1488. Ask for the guide, or you can go to retireatlradio.com.
770-280-1488 or online at retireatlradio.com. And join us for Retire ATL every Sunday right here on WSB.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
If you've ever organized your closet only to have it look like a bomb went off in there 1 month later, then it's time to call Artisan Custom Closets. Dave Baker here with a custom spacious closet from Artisan. You'll never have to deal with all that clutter again. ArtisanCustomClosets.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Our top story this morning's FBI briefing should begin any moment now from Utah. The search for the killer of conservative political activist Charlie Kirk. This week's murder happening on the campus of Utah Valley University. That is in Orem, Utah. It comes after President Trump announcing on Fox and Friends earlier this morning that with a high degree of certainty, that suspect has been caught.
The father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but I'm just giving you based on what I'm hearing.
And we are hearing from sources saying a man confessed to his father that he had shot Kirk. Suspects' images have, of course, been all over both regular and social media over the last day or so. Correspondent Aaron Katersky says this would end a feverish manhunt for the suspect.
The FBI had been imploring the public and offering $100,000 in reward money for information leading to this individual's arrest. They released video that showed the suspect jumping from a rooftop, scampering into the woods to make his escape.
They found the apparent gun used in the attack in those woods, but the man had disappeared. Again, the FBI set to hold a briefing at any moment now to fill in some of these blanks following multiple reports, including from the president himself this morning, that the suspect of this week's killing of Charlie Kirk has been caught. We will bring you that briefing. We are monitoring right now. We'll bring it live to you whenever it begins. Other stories we are watching for you this morning are still working a red alert on the southeast perimeter. All lanes 285 eastbound shut down right at 675. This is the outer loop with a crash investigation. It's been there for over 2 hours, about 2.5 hours now. It caused some serious delays for your morning commute. We will check in with the WSB 24-hour traffic team in a bit. A Chattanooga man is headed to federal prison because of threats he made to a Georgia congresswoman.
Over a 2-year period, Gary Hayes left a series of threatening messages for Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, whose district lies just south of Chattanooga. He referenced what he considered white nationalist rhetoric in some of Greene's statements and suggested he might bring harm to Greene and her family because of it. Court documents indicate he also threatened a U.S. senator. For those actions, he receives a 2-year sentence. He's due to report to prison by the end of the year. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
A Covington police officer is recovering this morning after a chase involving a couple of suspected lawnmower thieves.
Officers say the two suspects are in custody after leading police on a chase on I-20. It started with the theft of a zero-turn lawnmower at an Ace Hardware store. Covington police later spotted the U-Haul they were looking for at a Home Depot on Highway 142, where the driver took off, leading them on a pursuit. When Covington police used a pit maneuver to stop them on the interstate, it caused one of their patrol cars to overturn, injuring Lieutenant Chris Kane. Covington's interim police chief says they're grateful the officer's injuries are not serious and that he's recovering well. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
And the parent company of ChatGPT saying its latest version is designed to help prevent suicide. OpenAI says it will detect when a young user may be in crisis and considering self-harm. System would then flag those conversations and alert a parent or guardian about the possible threat. Change comes after previous reports that some AI bots were actually sharing ways to commit self-harm in the past rather than trying to help. Once again, we are waiting this morning's FBI briefing on the news this morning that the alleged killer of Charlie Kirk out in Utah has been caught. We'll bring that briefing to you live when it begins. Monitoring it in my ear right now. There's a lot of shuffling going on, but so far no one is speaking. Taking a look at your money at 9:33. The Dow opening down slightly, S&P down slightly, NASDAQ is up about 30 points for your Friday. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather while we have a moment. First to the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
And Judd, we're continuing to follow this crash investigation that has all lanes shut down. Red alert in DeKalb County, I-285 eastbound, the outer loop right at I-675. This has been ongoing since before 6:50 this morning, and the good news is, looking at the jam cam, they are loading up the vehicle that was flipped over onto a tow truck. So that tells me this is in the clearing stages, but right now all lanes remain blocked. Delays start back at I-75 near the airport. If you're coming up from the south side or on the south side perimeter, work your way into the city. Take 75-85 through the connector northbound and then onto I-20 eastbound as an alternate. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 90, lows tonight in the low to mid 60s. Staying dry with sunshine for this weekend. Saturday and Sunday morning lows in the mid 60s, daytime highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
It is currently 68 degrees in Villa Rica, 69 in Mountain Park, 69 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. It will be another few minutes at the very least before we get this FBI briefing underway from this morning's news that the killer of conservative political activist Charlie Kirk has been caught in Utah. Once again, we will bring it to you live whenever it does begin. More news at 10 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Everyone has an opinion.
We have become an idiotic nation that doesn't know how to even debate anything, so it doesn't surprise
Eric
me.
Von Hessler has an opinion.
You will still age.
And some advice.
Start doing things when you're younger. Drink a lot of water.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
And you will still die.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him. In custody.
President Trump on Fox News this morning, a suspect in custody, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Coming up next, we'll go live to Utah for the FBI press conference next on The Mark Arum Show.
Shop organics at Whole Foods Market. Get organic black, red, and green seedless grapes for $2.99 per pound with Prime through September 16th. Snack on these crisp and juicy bites for a sweet pick-me-up. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Imagine if you could lock in, guarantee certain things between now and the next 5 years. Like, I would like to lock in my waist size. I don't want it to get any bigger. I'd like to lock in how much hair I have on my head. Unfortunately, you can't do that. But what you can do is lock in the price of your internet for 5 years. Hey, friends, it's Mark Arum back from my pals at Xfinity. Life always changing. But no matter how much it changes in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. The price of your internet. With the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. So you can budget your internet, not just this year, next year, all the way out through 5 years. It's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes, fees, extra, subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Hi, I'm Lacey, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. And yes, I'm actually a jeweler. I bring dream engagement rings to life every day in our jeweler's workshop. When I hand set your diamond into your ring, I think about creating a piece you'll wear for a lifetime. I pay attention to the smallest details and treat every ring with the same care and craftsmanship, no matter the size or price. Come check us out at your nearby store. Our engagement rings are made with love from our hands to yours, because a friend knows your love deserves the highest quality. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
You just have to go forward. You watch, as closely as you can. You have, I have great people. I mean, I have people now much better and far more. When I was hit in Butler.
President Trump this morning on Fox News. The breaking news that President Trump brought us that a suspect in the assassination of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Welcome back to the special edition of the Mark Arum Show. Any moment now, we're going to go live to Utah. We expect a press conference by law enforcement authorities, including the FBI. Really huge development since President Trump broke that news on Fox News this morning. The New York Post reporting that the suspect is 22 years old, from Utah, ID'd as Tyler Robinson. And apparently, Tyler Robinson called his dad or drove home and told his dad that he was the person that shot Charlie Kirk. Then his father turned around and called law enforcement. and said, hey, my son did it. He's here at the house. They then picked him up late last night, and apparently, I would imagine, behind closed doors, going through a lot of questioning, trying to get information, motive, maybe even a confession. But as we heard from President Trump yesterday, he wants to pursue the death penalty in this case, which is allowed in Utah. It is, speaking of Utah, very big hunting city. Obviously, they have, very liberal gun laws, gun carry, open carry, et cetera, but a lot of hunters there. At 22 years old, which, in my inexperience, the shot that took down, that assassinated Charlie Kirk was a pretty difficult shot, 150 meters from a rooftop. I'm not an expert on sharpshooting. Aaron Katersky from ABC checking in what the suspect, and again, still a suspect right now, everything's alleged, but what kind of shooting expertise it would take to make that shot.
The authorities have already spoken about what an experienced marksman it took to fire that fatal shot from a distance of more than 100 yards away from that rooftop. The authorities have already given hints that they believe there was a degree of planning in the method of escape and egress from the campus, then leaving the rifle in a towel that they believe is connected to the killing of Charlie Kirk.
Now, I did see, again, just on the face of it, at watching it as it unfolded on Wednesday, it was a sniper kill shot from my inexperienced eye. But I've heard from snipers, Deborah. I've seen snipers being interviewed, like professional U.S. Army Marine snipers. They're saying it's not that difficult a shot, and they doubted he was a professional sniper because it's only 150 meters. They're up to, they can make shots like that from 2,000 meters. They said it was pretty unobstructed, and it was a neck shot, which is not something that a skilled sharpshooter would go for. You go for head or chest. So again, way out of my area of expertise, but just from an amateur, I was like, wow, that was a very difficult shot to make. But experienced snipers say no. I don't know. Maybe we'll get some more information about that. But as a 22-year-old, would he get those shooting skills from outside of the military? Was he just a hunter and had the experience with a single shot rifle like that, taking down deer in Utah or whatever? But again, one of the many things we're going to try to find out here in the FBI press conference, which should be starting momentarily. We will bring it to you live in its entirety here on WSB Radio. Well, let me take a breath now because we've had so much breaking news in the first 41 minutes of the show. There are other topics we're going to talk about. Coming up at 10:05, we're going to kick off our team coverage. A couple of big developments in that ICE raid at the Hyundai plant in East Georgia. We're going to be joined at 10:05 by Kelly Yamanuchi. She is from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. And 11:35, David Welsh from Bloomberg News is going to join us. Apparently, that massive ICE raid, the biggest in history, is now going to delay the opening of that battery factory. So it could have some negative economic repercussions there outside of Savannah. So we'll have team coverage on that. Bill Crane's going to join us live at 10:35, political analyst. And we're going to have to talk to Bill about all this political violence and what needs to be done moving forward. Just, on a personal note, this is, and I mentioned this in my interview with John Cohen, the former counterterrorism coordinator at the DHS. We've seen obviously the horrific assassination attempt of President Trump in Butler is like one of the most just crazy stories we've covered in our lifetimes, and thankfully survived. The assassin was not successful, but we've seen these political assassination attempts, or actually assassinations, but they were politicians. And I've warned, Deborah, that especially Supreme Court justices, they need massive security right now, right? They've got to be targets numero uno, dos, tres, 3, 4, 5. Like, people are really mad at the Supreme Court justices. They need Secret Service protection. But Charlie Kirk was not a politician, not a judge, not a political candidate, just a political figure, right? An influencer. Certainly, obviously, had a huge impact on the young voter turnout for President Trump in the last presidential election. But he's not an elected official. But he's a lightning rod, right? He says a lot of things that people don't like. He says a lot of things that some people love. what's going to happen moving forward when it comes to security for folks in the public eye? And I've been here at WSB Radio for 28 years. I started in the old White Columns building, was here the first day they opened the building we are currently in, Deborah. And right behind me, that's bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
I call it Bortz glass. Because
it's hard enough to get into our building.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we have tight security, we have armed security, but this studio is surrounded by bulletproof glass because Neil Bortz used to tick people off between 9 and noon on WSB Radio. So when they built this building, they installed bulletproof glass. Now, knock on wood, no one's ever attempted to shoot into our studio or B98 or KISS. Does the River have bulletproof glass too, Deborah? Is it all, or is it just the WSB studio? I think the River, I think all of the studios, unconfirmed, unverified, all have. But so this is something that we've been dealing with. When you are a public figure and you could tick some people off, every time we go to an event, I have security. Eric Erickson has security. Von Hessler has security. But with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we're going to have to look at our protocols and our procedures now. Outdoor events, I don't see us doing any outdoor events in the near future. I remember doing Hannity Fest or whatever they called it back in the day at the Gwinnett Arena. Indoor event, but there were metal detectors, there was security there, there was police, plainclothes officers, and regular law enforcement officers there. Every time we do an event, and again, Herman Cain eventually ran for politics, but when Herman did an event, we had security there. But with this, the brutal assassination of Charlie Kirk, who again, not a politician, not a candidate, not a judge, not an elected official, just someone that has political takes, strong political takes in the public eye, that class of folks have always been a target, evidenced by the bulletproof glass behind me. But now is it even, a higher risk with the temperatures flaring on both sides? Very curious to see what is going to happen moving forward. All right, we are still awaiting this FBI press conference. Let's squeeze in a quick check of traffic and a commercial break so we can make sure we join the FBI press conference live. I should remind you, by the way, it's the 5K a day bonus blitz. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 10 o'clock hour, another chance for you to win $1,000 here on WSB. When we come back, live to Utah for the press conference. Right now, though, live to the traffic center with the hot spot of Mike Shields.
And that continues to be the Southside Perimeter, Mark, where all lanes remain shut down due to a crash investigation that's been ongoing since 6:50 this morning. 285 eastbound, the outer loop, right at I-675. Traffic for single file off on the Moreland Avenue, and the delays start back at I-75. Continue to use 75 north to the connector northbound, then on to I-20 eastbound as an alternate. This report is brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Hey, Georgia, remember you can play Georgia Lottery games from almost anywhere on any device. Go to GALottery.com and click on DigiGames. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
After suspect refuses to exit home on Summer Chase Drive.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Looks to be a tanker truck crashed into the median on the Jam Cam.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The major culprits are squeezing household budgets for auto insurance, gasoline, and utilities.
Your 24/7 news source. Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Y'all, it's Eric, and summer is winding down, which means you got a great deal coming from Omaha Steaks. It's their Red Hot Sale event. You get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, because you listen to your host, Eric Erickson, you get an extra $35 off with promo code ERIC at checkout. Look, with so much happening, school is back in session, you got family in and out, you got fall weather coming, the leaves are starting to change colors. It's time to get out back, enjoy your grill without the summer heat. Go to omahasteaks.com today. You're going to get 50% off site-wide at checkout. Use promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K. Get the New York strips, by the way. Omaha Steaks, they're butcher cut, so they're hand cut. It's not machined. It's hand cut New York strips. They're fantastic. So are the fillets. Everything's great. omahasteaks.com is where you want to go. At checkout, use promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K. Get an extra $35 off. Minimum order required.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Here at Massey, we've seen the damage termites can cause. That's why we've been protecting homes from termite damage for almost 100 years. Our termite protection program, featuring Always Active Centricon system, doesn't just protect your home from termites, it gives you peace of mind. That's why our termite protection guarantee covers your home and everything in it. Schedule your free inspection today at MasseyServices.com. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Hey, if you're bringing some friends over to tailgate this fall or cook out or having the family for Thanksgiving later, do what I've just done and call Wise Guys Pro Wash. They've gotten my house and driveway, my patio spotless, even the wooden gates out back. They even cleaned the roof, and I didn't even have to be there. The crew used the top equipment in the industry, and their soft washing kept my home safe and damage-free. You call them. Mention me, Chris Chandler, for $70 off your next service. WiseGuysProWash.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
But was a person of faith, a minister, and brought him to a U.S. Marshal who was fantastic, and the father convinced the son, this is it.
Wow, getting more details on the arraignment, the apprehension, that's the word, Aram. Apprehension of the suspect in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That was President Trump on Fox News, said a minister who was involved with law enforcement played a role in turning Kirk's suspected killer into law enforcement. Again, we had the reporting that it was the suspect's father that actually called the police and said, hey, my son confessed to me that he was the person that shot and killed Charlie Kirk. He's at the house. Come get him. Did he do that for the $100,000? Did the father just say, you know what? You're my kid, but it's $100,000. You know, inflation. He might have just got his he laid off, and he's like, God, I hope no one listening is ever put in that position where your kid confesses to a crime and you have to decide whether or not to turn him in, especially knowing that this is a death penalty case. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. President Trump said, yeah, we are going for the death penalty. Again, this is breaking news. We are awaiting the FBI press conference. It was allegedly scheduled for 9 a.m., and then they moved it to 9:30, and now it's 9:52, and it has not yet started. So I wonder what they're doing behind the scenes, buttoning up exactly what they're going to say here. But we're going to continue to monitor this breaking news, again, that popped during Atlanta's Morning News. Obviously, the huge story, the assassination, the brutal killing of Charlie Kirk at that college in Utah. And then last night, the suspect was apprehended. Sources say that he drove 250 miles southwest of the campus where we think his father lives. And then the father, with the assistance of a minister that works with law enforcement, the authorities were able to capture the suspect, 22-year-old suspect, at his house in Utah. The suspect is from Utah, and he has been identified by the New York Post and one other media outlet now as Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old from Utah. He is the shooting suspect. Again, we're still using suspect here just in case, right? Just in case this is just, a ploy for attention, or I don't know. But I'm just going to play it safe. But we're going to say that this is just a suspect. Again, we are awaiting the FBI press conference to get any further updates on this. We do have more from President Trump this morning on Fox News, where he dropped this huge breaking news.
Somebody that's close recognizes even a little tilt of the head, which nobody else would do. And somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. And essentially went to the father, went to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic, by the way. And the person was involved with law enforcement, but was a person of faith, a minister. And brought him to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic. And the father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but I'm just giving you, based on what I'm hearing, they'll give you a much more active. I just heard about it 5 minutes before I walked in. As I'm walking in, they said, looking real good.
Unbelievable. So that's how the world found out, was on Fox News this morning. President Trump was scheduled to visit the Fox News headquarters. I'm assuming before this whole Charlie Kirk situation happened. President Trump was in New York yesterday, staying at his home in New York at Trump Tower. But he went to the Yankees game yesterday. Obviously, yesterday, the 24th anniversary of 9/11. You might remember that the first baseball game after 9/11 was in New York between the Mets and the Braves. So President Trump, they had the 24th anniversary memorial at the Yankee game yesterday. And during the national anthem, President Trump was in one of the luxury suites, and they showed him on the big screen there at Yankee Stadium. And, people, because, there were mixed emotions from the fans at the U.S. Open when President Trump was there over the weekend. But from what I could tell, he got a loud round of applause when they showed him on the big screen. So he was in New York. I'm assuming this was a planned interview with Fox News Live in studio. It was a really long-ranging interview, but it just so happened that he dropped the news that a suspect is in custody in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I believe we're a minute 20 away from this press conference in Utah. Mark Arum, Sabrina Cupid now manning the booth here. Sabrina, have we gotten any details on who we might hear from at this press conference?
We'll be hearing from the officials there, the FBI in Utah. And again, we are expecting that briefing to get underway any minute. As soon as it does, we will, of course, bring it to you live.
Yeah, it should be less than a minute away. We're going to monitor that. Unfortunately, I'm seeing a delay on the press conference. So Sabrina and Longoria, you just tell me when to stop talking.
Will do.
I do have, because of the press conference, I've been told that I am not going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Maybe I can do it online. I can tweet it out, and that way you can get a chance to win. But obviously, it'd probably be inappropriate for us to come out at the FBI press conference on the assassination of Charlie Kirk and say, here's the keyword. So I'll try to get permission from my boss. Maybe we can put it on social media. But I'm gonna try my best to get you a chance to win $1,000. But again, we're continuing our team coverage of the breaking news, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. During Atlanta's Morning News with Chris Chandler, you got word from President Trump via Fox News, a live interview, that a suspect is in custody, 22-year-old from Utah, apparently admitted to his father that he was the assassin. The father then called the authorities, and the authorities apprehended him late last night, 250 miles southwest of the Utah College. Mark Arum and Sabrina Cupid. Sabrina, I'm going to give it to you here now because I'm not sure exactly. You'll find out before I will when this press conference starts.
All right, well, let's do it. You want me to go ahead and just start telling everybody what we know so far?
Please,
then?
yes.
All right, so we do have breaking new developments in the murder of Charlie Cook. A suspect, we understand, is in custody in connection with the assassination of Kirk. From what we are hearing, it is a 22-year-old from Utah, according to law enforcement officials. The officials saying that authorities have identified the suspect as Tyler Robinson. President Trump, as you've been telling everybody earlier on Fox News, said that it was a minister that turned the suspect into authorities, which was the suspect's father.
Was a person of faith, a minister. and brought him to a U.S. Marshal who was fantastic. And the father convinced the son, this is it.
And so, again, Kirk was killed on the Utah Valley University campus on Wednesday. He was an ally of President Trump and was influential in rallying young Republican voters for Trump. He traveled across the country speaking on college campuses and universities. But again, we are expecting the FBI to update us after Trump said this morning that the shooting suspect was in custody again. Unofficial, but we are hearing from Utah the name that has been released, 22-year-old from Utah, and we will, of course, his name is Tyler Robinson, and as soon as that news briefing gets underway, we will bring it to you live.
Sabrina, one of the developments in the last 24 hours, I don't know if folks listening got a chance to see the security camera footage from the campus. The authorities able to track Tyler Robinson's movements. There's the video of him running across the roof. I don't know if you saw that. And then there was another video angle of him basically jumping off the roof onto some grass. And that's where we heard yesterday that he left a heel print. I would imagine it was from the hard landing there, a palm print when he was holding on from the roof to jump down. And then they followed him across campus. He crossed the street into the wooded area where they eventually found the rifle. But he had a noticeable limp. I don't know if you saw that, Sabrina. Might have hurt his foot or his ankle when he was jumping off the roof there. But the technology now, you have to commit a crime in a woods for there not to be a camera to catch it. I wonder how much that aided the authorities in trying to identify this suspect.
Yeah, it sounded like they had a lot of evidence, and the pictures and the video that were released, as you saw, were pretty good. I mean, so I was kind of surprised that it took this long for anybody to know who this was and for him to be turned in and for there to be an arrest. I thought it would have happened much sooner.
Yeah, especially once the images, the first images that were released yesterday of the security cameras were not the clearest images, and you really couldn't get it. But as the day progressed, we did get better images, and I would imagine that anyone, friends, coworkers, or fellow students would have recognized him immediately and said, "Oh, I know that is Mr. Anderson, who apparently is the suspect now." Tyler Robinson, not Anderson, I'm sorry. Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old from Utah, apparently ID'd as Charlie Kirk's shooter after the father turned him in, which is another interesting angle on this, Sabrina.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising. And again, we were listening as the president was on Fox this morning, breaking that news, saying that there had been a suspect that was in custody and that his father, who was a minister, turned him in. Again, this is all from the president, and we are awaiting that briefing from officials there in the FBI in Utah to make sure that what we had heard is actually correct.
Yeah, right. Mark Arum, Sabrina Cupid here following the breaking news on 95.5 WSB. President Trump, the president of the United States, breaking the news on Fox News this morning that a shooting suspect is in custody. A lot of different angles to this story. The shooting suspect from Utah was apprehended 250 miles southwest of that campus where Charlie Kirk was having the event. We think, but not know, that he drove to Washington, Utah, and was at his father's house, at least, when he was apprehended. His father, of course, as soon as his son told him that he shot Charlie Kirk, then alerted the authorities. It was apprehended late last night. I could only imagine, Sabrina, if it was, a 10 p.m. apprehension and now we're 10 a.m. Eastern time, what kind of information, if any, they were able to get from the suspect.
Yeah, it's an interesting turn of events, and I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures that are floating around, but he, we always say this, but he just looks like a normal 22-year-old.
Yeah, nothing abnormal. The question I have is, because, again, I'm getting mixed messages on how difficult that fatal shot was, 150 meters away from Charlie Kirk while he was speaking at that event. Just from my layman's eyes, not having any sniper experience, like, that's a pretty long shot, longer than the would-be assassin in Butler, Pennsylvania, that tried to assassinate President Trump. So when it first happened, I was like, wow, maybe this person has some sort of military training. I've heard professional snipers say it wasn't that difficult of a shot. An average hunter might have been able to make that shot. But at 22, does this kid have a background in the military? Did he get any training when it comes to long distance shooting, or was he just a hunter and was used to firing a rifle at that distance? So a lot of unanswered questions. Hopefully, we will get them answered shortly. Again, this press conference was scheduled for an hour ago. Then they pushed it to 9:30, and then we thought it was going to happen at 9:57. We're looking live right now in Orem, Utah, and media outlets from all over the globe there right now, Sabrina.
Yeah, tell you what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and update folks on other stories that we are following. And once this briefing gets underway, we will definitely bring it to a mark. But your weather for today, let's talk about that for a minute. Mostly sunny, hot and dry, highs around 90. And WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. And while we're talking about threats and the political world, a Chattanooga man is sentenced to 2 years in federal prison for leaving threatening voice messages for Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Gary Hayes used his own name in the threats, even spelling it out. He threatened violence against Greene and her family, and also sent threats last year to another unnamed member of Congress. Hayes has until early December to report to prison. And a former prosecutor on Fulton County's election meddling case sues his phone company for handing the defense his cell phone records as they tried to catch him in a lie about a relationship with the district attorney.
Attorneys for then Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade accuse AT&T of gross negligence for turning over a year of Wade's texts, calls, locations to lawyers of the criminal defendants he was prosecuting for election interference. The suit says this breach not only revealed details of Wade's personal life, it also exposed highly sensitive details of the state's case. They contend AT&T knew the subpoena was not for a criminal defendant, but for a prosecutor, yet never alerted Wade. The suit seeks punitive and monetary damages. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
All right, and we do have breaking news. Let's go to that news briefing in Utah on the search for the killer of Charlie Kirk.
Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon T-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this?" ? Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" ! Catch! ! Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah. But I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilize these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver it to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake Field Office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their sources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
All right, you have been listening to a briefing from Utah, and a suspect has now been captured. That is our top story.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
That is Governor Spencer Cox saying we got him this morning during that news briefing that has just wrapped up.
A family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Now, Utah's governor saying that the assassination suspect had grown more political and was opposed to Charlie Kirk's belief. The person in custody in the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk has now been identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Two law enforcement sources saying that Robinson's father reported his son to clergy. Clergy took the tip to the U.S. Marshal Service. The governor saying it's a sad day in our country and in Utah. Kash Patel, the FBI director, saying the suspect was arrested last night, and he says that there were over 11,000 leads in the case. But Mark, that is the story. A suspect now in custody this morning.
All right, Sabrina, it looks like, I don't know if you can confirm, but from the television view, it looks like they are back on in front of the podium there. We just heard from Kash Patel. Now Governor Cox is back up. Do you want to rejoin this live and see if they answer any questions?
Absolutely, we can do that.
All right, let's go back to the press conference in Utah.
Respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet, all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. This bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes. Because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country. And he said, I'm not optimistic. He said, I hate optimism. Like, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have. I cannot speak to that right now. Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not, and by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself. There's nothing more that we can share at this time. We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests. Yes, but the investigation is ongoing. Yes, so right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody, that his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So how we obtained the gun? The gun was found here. Yeah, so I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County. I'm sorry? We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes. I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here. I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history. Yes. The question is, what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history, or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s, and having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets. We are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together, the Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there. But this is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here. I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened. One more thing, Governor. Could you just clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier? Was he changing outfits? Correct. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here. Yes. Yeah. So I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County, in the southernmost part of our state. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that. Basically, we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
All right, that does appear to be the end of the news conference. It doesn't appear that the FBI director is going to be taking any questions either. So in case you are just joining us, here's what we know. The shooter has been identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. He had earlier expressed to family his opposition to the viewpoints of Charlie Kirk, according to the governor. And Utah's governor saying that he believed that the man acted alone. He also pleaded for everyone to come together. He said this could be a turning point for us. And he says he does believe that there is more good than evil in the world. The shooter is in jail this morning. So that's what we have so far. Mark, we carried the entire news conference. Did anything stand out to you that we didn't expect?
Well, I think we got confirmation because we had reports yesterday on social media that there were engravings on the shell casings and the unused bullets from the assassination suspect. Got confirmation on that. One of them read, "Hey, fascist!" ! Catch! Another reading, "If you read this, you are gay! LMAO. There was one other, too, that it was kind of a deep reference to Bella Ciao, which is Italian, And that's an apparent reference to an Italian song adopted by the anti-fascist resistance during World War II, still sung by the Italian left to commemorate the end of fascism. So it appears, they wouldn't comment on a motive. The governor said, hey, I think what I told you evidence-wise speaks for itself, that the suspect now in custody, and there is a mugshot just released. I'll try to pop that up. It'll be on WSBRadio.com in just a minute. That the motive here was an anti-fascist motive. Obviously, the suspect, Tyler Robinson, thought that Charlie Kirk was a fascist, and that leads to motive. I was taken by the fact, two things, Sabrina, that it was Governor Cox that took the question, Governor Spencer Cox there, the governor of Utah, and not the FBI director. Kash Patel spoke briefly, didn't really give much information. He did tell us that the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. Utah time. The shooting happened at 2:23 p.m. Utah time on Wednesday, so 36 hours after the shooting, the suspect was in custody. But I'm surprised that the FBI director didn't take those correct questions, or anyone else from law enforcement, that the questions were directed to the governor, who obviously is the governor of the state, but doesn't have, the hands-on of what's going on in the investigation.
Yeah, that's why we stayed a little bit after he finished speaking, thinking that Patel might come back to the microphone and answer some questions, but that didn't happen. But the governor had a lot to say.
Indeed, and a very positive message, I thought. I think it's going to be well received. Again, that was Governor Spencer Cox, who had that, a long monologue there, talking about, the Kirk family, and this could be a moment in time, comparing, like I did on the show yesterday, Deborah, to this is like the 60s, right, where we had the political violence of the 60s. Are we seeing that again now? So we made reference to that. I don't believe they gave us an update on when another press conference is going to be had, but the suspect's in custody. Again, confirmed 22-year-old Tyler Robinson admitted to his father that he committed the crime. The father reached out to a family friend that was a minister. The minister contacted law enforcement, and he was taken into custody yesterday at 10 p.m. Utah time. One question, Deborah, that they didn't ask was, and I was screaming, like, does this guy have a criminal past? Like, is he known to law enforcement? Like, that's one of the first things you ask there. I think maybe the reporters are waiting for Kash Patel or a member of the law enforcement to ask that question, but that was a question that I wanted answered. So obviously huge developments in this story. Tyler Robinson in custody, 22 years old from Utah, family member alerted authorities, and they were talking about Discord. Are you familiar with Discord, Deborah?
It's another social media platform, yeah.
So apparently there were some exchanges on Discord, and the question might be if anyone that he was sharing this information with had knowledge that he was going to commit this assassination, might they be held liable? A lot to unpack there. This is obviously a politically motivated assassination, which brings us to political analyst Bill Crane, who joins us live every Friday at this time. Perfect timing, Bill, because political violence, you're a political analyst. You just heard the press conference, this horrible story out of Utah. Your initial reaction to what we heard from President Trump this morning on Fox News and what we just heard from the Utah governor.
Well, in addition to the parallels you and the governor were drawing with the 1960s and political violence here, I can't help but point out the coincidence in the number of the shooters, mass shooters as well as individual attempts. The young man who tried to take out President Trump are all in their late teens to mid-20s, alienated from society, have some odd rantings on social media, as the governor referenced, and are in a world that's largely formed by that. I mean, I'm 64 years old, and I am loosely familiar previously with Mr. Kirk from his involvement in the two Trump campaigns, and I knew a little bit about Turning Point USA. But if you spend a significant amount of time on TikTok, he's almost omnipresent, and Mr. Kirk. And so the outsized influence that influencers have, pro and con, the reaction that their followers as well as their opponents have, I really think it's something we need to pay more attention to. And as much as I know we didn't hear much on this instance about gun control because it was a conservative who was killed. The continuing issue, through line for me is mental health. And where are these so many young men falling aside from the rest of society and not being identified as a potential risk, not being identified as a potential threat to themselves as well as their families. I'm glad the man's father had the courage and conviction to go and speak to his pastor, and that we were able to identify and get the suspect under arrest. But just like you mentioned a moment ago about the kind of the blockchain elements of this, being in contact with others, sharing the information, perhaps gloating about it after the fact, glorifying this kind of violence ties back to some of the online gaming, which de-emphasizes the importance and reality of taking a life. And I really think as a society, if we're going to look at things as broad as taking away firearms or going after the Second Amendment, we also need to be looking at mental health and how we screen people who appear to be alienated and falling away from society.
Political analyst Bill Crane joining us live on the Mark Air Show, covering the breaking news. Suspect in the assassination of Charlie Kirk is in custody right now. Tyler Robinson, 22 years old, from Utah, did not go to the university where the assassination happened. We heard from Governor Spencer Cox of Utah during the press conference just moments ago.
Messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique.
All right, so the engraved bullets leading toward an anti-fascist motive here, Bill. Is that what we expected? I mean, it was kind of unknown for the motive. Obviously, we know Charlie Kirk, a lightning rod, has his supporters and his detractors, but what can you make from the motive and what was engraved on those shell casings?
Well, obviously not a fan probably of President Trump and the MAGA part of the party, and believes that their messaging and a lot of their thinking is fascist. I do think it matters what motivated you and why you were there, but I was a college freshman when Ronald Reagan's attempted assassination occurred, and I remember being on the campus and walking just a normal day when we heard word that he was shot by John Hinckley and that he might not survive. There's a scar to the psyche, and the fact that it has happened the day before 9/11, I think we'll be talking about or remembering this shooting for some time. Regardless of what someone's political ideology is, as we all know, they're not the enemy. And we've gotten as a country, again, particularly on social media, where just simple disagreement puts somebody in an opposing camp, and it's become almost tribal. And, in my commentary and the columns I write each week, I try to put some humor in them. I try to remind people these are serious issues, but don't take yourself too seriously. And your neighbor that has an opposing candidate side of their front yard is not your enemy. They just have different thinking than you do. And I don't want to overemphasize that too much on your show, but because I know your listeners are rational people, but you can't overstate.
No, it's definitely worth highlighting. Bill, Governor Cox referenced the Kennedy assassination. You referenced the attempt on President Reagan and the assassination attempt on President Trump. Elected officials, right? They're elected officials. I've been warning that judges need to get extra protection because of what's going on and the outright hatred right now for some of the judges on the federal level. Charlie Kirk was not a judge, not an elected official. He was just a political voice, an influencer. What do you think's going to have to change or could change moving forward as far as security for the Charlie Kirks of the world, the Eric Ericksons of the world, the folks that are out there with their strong opinions that might upset folks that are on the fringe and clearly have issues?
Well, you may remember when the Talkmaster was still at WSB, Neil Bortz, for the last several years, he was with us. I don't know if he still does. Had a security guard that traveled with him for book signings and appearances because he would so enrage crowd members occasionally. It's a sad state and place that we're in that we have to consider Secret Service protection, no offense, for talk show hosts. And we do. Someone like Eric Erickson, who has a very strong following, also has strong opponents, and I know he's faced threats. Members of the Supreme Court, you referenced judges, they don't hide. Most of them have publicly known addresses in suburban areas of Washington, D.C., and in recent years, several of them have had protests on their front lawn, people banging on their front door. But we may, for a time, be in a place as a country where, most seniority members of Congress already have protection, but we'll need to start extending bodyguards and civil service protection to federal judges, the Supreme Court, leadership in Congress, and again, where do you draw the line? You can't. Everyone who has a political opinion, strong ones, can't have publicly funded security.
Yeah, I know a lot of congressional members in the wake of this horrific assassination have upped their security detail. I'm curious to see if maybe President Trump, on the heels of this, will put the Secret Service back on Vice President Harris and some of the folks where he took it off. I mean, it's crazy times we're living in, Bill. Crazy times we're living in. The good news, though, Tyler Robinson in custody, the suspect in the Charlie Kirk assassination, 22-year-old from Utah, admitted to his father that he committed the assassination. The father reached out to a minister, a family friend. The minister got in touch with law enforcement, and Mr. Robinson was taken into custody 10 p.m. yesterday, Utah time. His mugshot has been released. I'll try to post that on social media, and you'll see it up on WSBRadio.com. Political analyst Bill Crane. Bill, thanks for jumping on with the breaking news today, my friend.
Take care. Hug your family. Be alert.
Amen. Great stuff, by the way, Bill. Always, providing crystal clear insight on all things politics. And this is a political story, obviously, political violence. All right, when we come back, I've got some audio from Governor Cox and Kash Patel from that press conference. Right now, though, it's been a minute. I'm so sorry, Mark McKay. We got to check the Atlanta commute. Where are the hot spots now, buddy?
Got to do what we got to do, and the West Freeway is slow passing Six Flags, Mark. We have a crash in the left lane of I-20 eastbound before Fulton Industrial Boulevard, exit 49, and construction through Cobb County. That ride between Ackworth and Kennesaw slowed by left lane roadwork on I-75 southbound. Delays begin past Highway 92. That roadwork's being done near Kennesaw State University and Chastain Road, exit 271. This report sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Shop organics at Whole Foods Market. Get organic black, red, and green seedless grapes for $2.99 a pound with Prime through September 16th while supplies last. Shop in-store, online. Terms apply. Smile Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB Radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
All right, thank you. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my word!
Just enter the word at WSBRadio.com or on the WSB Radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 12 p.m.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
That nagging joint pain, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Sometimes it's an old injury that just never healed right. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long. But that stops right now. I'm Mark Airman. QC Kinetics is here to flip that script. They use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints, not cover it up, not cut it out, actually helping heal and restore. And the results, long-term, lasting relief. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Bring your MRIs, your x-rays, and they'll make sure you're a good candidate. Your first consultation, it's free, friends, so there's no reason to wait. Call QC Kinetics, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Decatur, Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, and Douglasville. Appointments available on Saturday. 770-285-8026.
At Kroger Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans, no appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends, so come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
Hey, if you're bringing some friends over to tailgate this fall or cook out or having the family for Thanksgiving later, do what I've just done and call Wise Guys Pro Wash. They've gotten my house and driveway, my patio spotless, even the wooden gates out back. They even cleaned the roof, and I didn't even have to be there. The crew used the top equipment in the industry, and their soft washing kept my home safe and damage-free. You call them. Mention me, Chris Chandler, for $70 off your next service. WiseGuysProWash.com.
My whole identity had been wrapped up in being a soldier. To have that so violently ripped from me when I was wounded, I was lost for a very long time. When Wounded Warrior Project came into my life, being around the other warriors, people that had similar experiences that I did, it was a game changer for me. Having King join the group, that was the beginning of a really good friendship. It's a good time.
I first heard about Wounded Warrior Project through CQ. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I qualify. But having been a part of it, it's kind of taught me that it's not just the wounds that you can see, but it's those that you can't.
When you do something like a peer support group with Wounded Warrior Project and come together from different walks of life, man, the growth is incredible. If not for Wounded Warrior Project, I really don't think that I'd be here today.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
We got him. Very simple 3 words uttered by Utah Governor Spencer Cox during that live broadcast you heard. The him, and we got him, Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old, now in custody, suspected of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Welcome back to this special edition of the Mark Arum Show. Heard a lot from the governor in that press conference, including the messages on Discord that kind of add evidence to the case.
Messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique.
Again, that's Governor Spencer Cox in Utah on the press conference you heard live on WSB. All this broke during Atlanta's Morning News with Chris Chandler, and President Trump made an appearance on Fox News and basically broke the news himself that there was a suspect in custody. We got confirmation later. Really interesting story on how he was apprehended. The 22-year-old, again, named Tyler Robinson, admitted to his father that he assassinated Kirk. The father reached out to a minister who was a family friend who then got in touch with law enforcement. And as we heard from FBI Director Kash Patel, the suspect was apprehended at 10 p.m. yesterday evening, Utah time, has been in custody ever since, now in jail in Utah. The mugshot is up of the suspect. Again, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson did not go to the school where Mr. Kirk was assassinated. Complete coverage throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. The motive, apparently anti-fascist motive, and very curious to see what the authorities are going to do, what prosecutors are going to do, as President Trump said strongly yesterday that he wants the death penalty in this case. A lot of new developments. Sabrina's going to get you caught up to date in just a couple of minutes. When we come back, another big story we've been covering here in the last week or so on the program, the massive ICE raid at the Hyundai plant off of I-16 west of Savannah. We'll kick off our team coverage with that. What happened yesterday with the South Koreans that have left the country, head back to South Korea. We'll update that. And I guess the breaking news, Tyler Robinson now in custody, the suspect in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Continuing coverage in less than 2 minutes on 95.5 WSB.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/today. Ethos.com/today.
Y'all, it's Eric, and summer is winding down, which means you got a great deal coming from Omaha Steaks. It's their Red Hot Sale event. You get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, because you listen to your host, Eric Erickson, you get an extra $35 off with promo code ERIC at checkout. Look, with so much happening, school is back in session, you got family in and out, you got fall weather coming, the leaves are starting to change colors. It's time to get out back, enjoy your grill without the summer heat. Go to omahasteaks.com today. You're going to get 50% off site-wide at checkout. Use promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K. Get the New York strips, by the way. Omaha Steaks, they're butcher cut, so they're hand cut. It's not machined. It's hand cut New York strips. They're fantastic. So are the fillets. Everything's great. omahasteaks.com is where you want to go. At checkout, use promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K. Get an extra $35 off. Minimum order required.
Hey, you never want that call if your child is stranded, but you have to think, what if? What do you do? Rapid Radios can give parents the peace of mind and their kids a lifeline. Just like the old school walkie-talkie two-way, but a lot smarter. One charge lasts for days. Reception is crystal clear, even in remote areas. No delays, instant connection when it counts, because God forbid your child needs help. Hearing their voice makes all the difference. For every quote, just in case, go to rapidradios.com today.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. We have breaking news in the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
CBS News special report. A suspect is in custody in the assassination of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. He is 22-year-old Tyler Robinson of Washington, Utah, more than 250 miles from Utah Valley University, where Kirk was shot. Robinson's father recognized him in the surveillance photos authorities had released and told him to turn himself in. Utah Governor Spencer Cox says investigators believe Robinson acted alone. Surveillance video showed him arriving at Utah Valley University 4 hours before the shooting. CBS contributor Sam Vinograd.
We're trying to ensure that there's no ongoing threat to the public. At the same time, investigators will want to understand the arc of radicalization and mobilization that led this individual to commit this heinous assassination.
Earlier, President Trump told Fox News.
Essentially, somebody that was very close to him turned him in.
Trump says he hopes the killer gets the death penalty. Again, a suspect in custody. CBS News special report. I'm Michael Wallace.
All right, mostly sunny, hot and dry today. Afternoon highs around 90, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Heads up, if you are going to the airport this weekend, there's going to be lane closures for ongoing improvements from 10 o'clock tonight until 5 a.m. Monday.
This primarily affects people using the South Terminal, which serves Delta passengers. Though the inner lanes by the curb will remain open, the outer lanes will be closed. Signage and agents will be directing travelers to exit hourly parking. Drivers will be directed to the lower level exits. The Park ATL shuttles from outer lots will be shifted to the lower level ramps as well. Shuttle pickups will be at door 2 on the south lower level. Shuttle drop-offs will be at door 1 on the north lower level. Stairs and escalators will provide access to terminal ticketing and baggage claim. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Dunwoody police say dozens of cars have been broken into. They were hit early this morning at an apartment complex near Perimeter Mall.
Residents at Bell Perimeter Center Apartments on Perimeter Center East wake up to find their car windows shattered and items stolen. Sergeant Michael Cheek tells WSB about 50 vehicles were broken into.
It appears that the suspect or suspects, however many, whoever,
just walk around and were smashing windows and then rummaging through the cars to see what they could find.
Cheek says at least 2 firearms and a stun gun were stolen from vehicles. So far, police do not have any information on suspects. The investigation is still active. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Toyota issuing a recall of thousands of vehicles. It includes Toyota, Lexus, and Subaru vehicles from 2023 through 2025 model years. This recall has been issued after there were problems found with their heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. The systems could have electrical compressor failure, which can cause the defroster or defogger to not work, increasing the risk of a crash. This issue can be fixed by updating the car's HVAC system. Owners will get a letter come October. Your bill at the grocery store is likely high and going to go higher. Elizabeth Schultze has more on what we're paying for food.
Food prices between July and August jumped 0.6%, the biggest monthly increase in 3 years. Grocery prices are now 2.7% higher than a year ago. Coffee prices are up nearly 21%, steaks up more than 16%, and bananas up more than 6%. And economists warn the impact of President Trump's tariffs could drive some prices even higher in the coming months.
All right, let's check your money. The Dow right now is down 147 at 45,960. NASDAQ is up, and so is the S&P. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams joining us now from the 24-hour traffic center on this Friday morning.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. And some better news on the West Freeway. Watching a crash. Looks to be pulling out of that left lane, 20 eastbound, just past Riverside Parkway, exit 46. That should help improve the ride out of Lithia Springs. In DeKalb County, you have construction, I-20 eastbound, right around or just past Wesley Chapel Road, exit number 68. That construction is blocking the right lane, so causing a few delays out toward Lithonia. And got that left lane construction up in Kennesaw today, 75 southbound between Chastain Road and Barrett Parkway, slowing you back toward Highway 92 in Ackworth. We'll keep an eye on those delays and might want to consider Highway 41 as a good alternate to get around it. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today, high 90, lows tonight in the low to mid 60s. Tomorrow, sunshine with highs in the upper 80s, low 90s. Dry conditions continue for Sunday with sunny skies, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
It is 74 degrees in Winder. Dunwoody has 75, 76 right now in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I want this town to be near you.
Welcome back, friends, to this extremely busy News Day Friday. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Coming up in 30 minutes, Deborah's got tickets to give away. In an hour, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Chance for you to win $1,000 on 95.5 WSB. I apologize, I wasn't able to give you the keyword in the 10 o'clock hour because of the breaking news. And I mentioned, Deborah, I posted on social media, got a quick snap back from the boss saying, no, you cannot post the keyword on social media. So I'm sorry you missed out there, but you'll get another chance to win $1,000 coming up in 1 hour. That breaking news, of course, you heard the press conference with the FBI Director Kash Patel and the Utah Governor Spencer Cox, a suspect now in custody in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson now in custody. This is Governor Spencer Cox of Utah.
A family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Massive breaking news. We'll continue to monitor it throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. But I want to go to another massive story you've been following here in Georgia with huge local impacts. The historically large ice raid at the Hyundai plant in East Georgia, just west of Savannah off of I-16 at the massive Hyundai complex. A lot of new developments since yesterday. Covering the story from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and joining us live, Kelly Yamanuchi. Kelly, thank you so much for being flexible and being able to join us live on this story.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
So if what I'm reading is correct, the South Korean nationals who were detained by ICE now back in South Korea. This all went down at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson yesterday?
Yes, that's right. There are more than 300 South Koreans that have now returned home after being arrested in that ice raid of an electric vehicle battery plant that was under construction at a Hyundai factory campus near Savannah. They had been held in an ICE detention facility in Southeast Georgia for a week, and they flew out yesterday, and we had an Atlanta Journal-Constitution reporter and photographer at Hartsfield-Jackson when the plane took off. And the story has also been covered very closely by Korean media. Essentially, this ICE raid became an international event with diplomatic fallout.
Yeah, I can only imagine if the roles were reversed and, 300 Americans were detained by immigration authorities in South Korea and then for a week and then sent back to the United States. So about 475 workers were detained by ICE in that raid, including more than 300 Koreans. Also learning from the Associated Press, so it was 316 Koreans, 10 Chinese nationals, 3 Japanese nationals, and 1 Indonesian, all detained by ICE. Have we gotten any clarification, Kelly, on what the visa status were from these 4 nationals that were at the Hyundai campus?
So there has not been a lot of specifics about the actual specific status of all 475 people arrested. Federal officials said after the arrests last week that they included immigrants who crossed the border illegally, people who overstayed visas, and people who had entered the country through a visa waiver program. But there's been criticism from South Korean officials that the visa process is antiquated, and some people say it isn't designed for the setup of an electric vehicle battery factory that requires skilled workers like this to install really technical equipment. And an immigration attorney that I interviewed, Charles Cook, who represents some of the workers who were detained, said it's essentially like pounding square pegs into round holes, trying to get the visas for these workers to do the work.
Yeah, I think it's worth highlighting too, Kelly, that this was not a functionally operating open battery factory. This is still under construction. And once completed, the jobs will go to, we assume, would be Georgians, right? That was the promise from Governor Kemp. But this is just the construction of the plant. And Hyundai obviously wanted folks that are familiar with what the plant needs and how it's constructed. And that's why there were so many South Koreans here building this battery plant.
That's right. What the people that I've interviewed have been saying is that these were people with highly technical expertise to set up this equipment, and that they were helping to set up the plant so that it could employ U.S. workers.
Kelly Yamanuchi from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Obviously, this has turned into a political issue. President Trump, in his second term, really pushing the anti-immigration and the ICE raids throughout. But this is a big economic issue. South Korea, a huge economic trading partner, not just of the United States, but of Georgia. It's our third largest trading partner, and they've committed billions of dollars here, notwithstanding that massive Kia plant. Politically, I would imagine there's a lot of trepidation right now, both at the governor's mansion on West Paces and at the White House, of what this means to future trade deals with South Korea.
Right. So Korean officials have raised concerns about the challenges in getting these visas to complete these big economic development projects that include foreign investment that's been championed by Georgia and U.S. leaders. And, Korea and South Korea and the U.S. struck a trade deal in July where South Korea announced a $350 billion investment plan in the U.S. in return for lowered U.S. tariffs. And so there indeed are some concerns and criticism being expressed by officials in Korea in response to this raid. The South Korean president yesterday warned that South Korean companies will likely hesitate to make further investments in the U.S. unless it improves its visa system, as the Associated Press has reported.
Kelly, I didn't see this on your specific article on AJC.com, but I've seen an update that because of the deportations of over 450 people, that the battery factory construction might be delayed now. Do we have any information on how long this delay might be?
Right. So the construction of the facility was paused pretty much immediately after the raid, and the CEO of Hyundai said in an interview with Bloomberg that the opening of the battery plant will be delayed by 2 to 3 months because of the raid. He cited a shortage of workers. The CEO of LG Energy Solution, which is the partner with Hyundai on the battery plant, said that disruptions would be within a level we can manage, according to an AP report from Korea.
Oh, unbelievable. Kelly Yamanuchi, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Kelly, always a pleasure. Thanks for your insight. Thanks for coming on. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
There you go. A huge story. And she mentioned Bloomberg's update there. We're going to talk to David Welch from Bloomberg News. He's covering this Hyundai story. He's going to join us after the news at 11:30. Again, if you're just getting in your car, what's wrong with you? A, you got to tune in at 9 o'clock when we get on the air. B, you missed a lot of breaking news, including the arrest of a suspect in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson now in custody. FBI Director Kash Patel said that he was taken into custody at 10 p.m. last night, Utah time. We heard from Utah Governor Spencer Cox on how he was apprehended. The suspect admitted to his dad that he was the assassin. The dad contacted a family friend, a minister, I'm assuming for guidance on what he should do as a father. Then the pastor reached out to law enforcement, and law enforcement, we believe, without incident, took 22-year-old Tyler Robinson into custody. All indications showing it was an anti-fascist motive in the horrific assassination of Charlie Kirk. Let's go to Orem, Utah, ABC's Matt Gutman.
Both Kash Patel, the FBI director, and Utah Governor Spencer Cox thanking the public for their help. Apparently it was a family member who saw something, who discussed it with Tyler Robinson and convinced him somehow to turn himself in. Apparently there was some give and take, but eventually Tyler Robinson turned himself into authorities, U.S. Marshals, very late last night.
So that's ABC's Matt Gutman there in Orem, Utah. Any new developments on the story, we'll, of course, bring them to you. Because of yesterday's show, we had the breaking news and we had the 9/11 tribute, and then the first 2 hours of this show basically completely on the arrest of Tyler Robinson. I didn't get a chance yesterday to talk about the inflation news. Inflation's going up, but so are the markets, which both indicate there's confidence that the Fed is going to lower interest rates, if not once, maybe twice, or at least a half point the next time that they meet. Relatedly to that, Deborah, we got some new numbers when it comes to U.S. housing costs. I'm assuming they've been going up, and up.
Up and up. Home ownership cost reached about $2,035 last year. So this is high mortgage rates. There's limited housing. And of course, insurance overall has gone up over 5%. And then most of the wages has stayed the same. Okay. So it's like $2,000 a month for housing. Is that just an average? Is that the family of four? It's an average home, it says. So it doesn't really break down much more than that. But states like Hawaii, California, they're over $3,000. God, I want my apartment in college again. I know, right? Well, it was $315 a month. God, what I would do. And it was a one bedroom. It wasn't even a studio. And it was a subterranean one bedroom in a crappy neighborhood. I needed National Guard troops in that neighborhood in New York. But God, goodness gracious, even then I knew it was a deal. Like $315 a month for my own place. I had buddies that were living in a fraternity house, and they were paying like $600 a person and living with 12 dudes. I had my bachelor pad, which came in handy, and it was only $3. I'll never have housing costs like that again. I do want to update the markets for you. Let's see, because I haven't had a chance to check, and we've been covering the breaking news. Mixed bag on Wall Street right now. The Dow's down 147, NASDAQ's up 97, S&P's up a smidge. Dow, though, still way above my comfort level, that 40,000 number. It's at 45,933. We'll watch the stocks for you throughout the day. Sabrina's giving you an update coming up at the bottom of the hour. And then right after the 11:30 news, we're going to continue our team coverage of the Hyundai Ice Raid. David Welch from Bloomberg News is going to join us live, and Deborah's got some tickets to give away. We're going to try to get some more information on the arrest of the suspect accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, now in custody. I did retweeted Channel 2's tweet of the mugshot of the suspect. If you want to check it out, it's also online at WSBradio.com. 11:16. I haven't seen his face yet this morning. Been stuck in the studio. Let's say hello and good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, buddy. Right now, we are watching another morning of brake lights out of Ackworth into Kennesaw on 75 southbound, all due to that left lane construction and getting past Barrett Parkway exit 269. I'd go ahead and jump over, use Highway 41 to avoid those delays that are only going to get worse. In DeKalb County, you also have left lane construction, I-20 eastbound before Panola Road exit 71. Those delays find you right at the bridge for Wesley Chapel Road. Traffic brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of common threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
That's awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 12 p.m.
That's amazing.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-Ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
You're building a deck or adding a room, that's wonderful. But if you skip hiring an architect trying to save money, well, the builder's going to need drawings anyway. They're going to hire an architect regardless and mark up their fees to you. That's why it's smarter to start your project at Sketchhouse. Hi, I'm Richard Taylor, architect at Sketchhouse. At Sketchhouse, we'll make sure your plans are code and zoning compliant, they'll be creative, and they will look great. You're going to save thousands of dollars with Sketchhouse Architects. We're going to make this easy for you. Go to sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, H-A-U-S, sketchhouse.com.
That nagging joint pain, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Sometimes it's an old injury that just never healed right. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long. But that stops right now. I'm Mark Ehrman. QC Kinetics is here to flip that script. They use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints, not cover it up, not cut it out, actually helping heal and restore. And the results, long-term, lasting relief. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Bring your MRIs, your X-rays, and they'll make sure you're a good candidate. Your first consultation, it's free, friends, so there's no reason to wait. Call QC Kinetics, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Decatur, Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, and Douglasville. Appointments available on Saturday. 770-285-8026.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Enjoy first of the season Honeycrisp apples. They're in stores now and only $1.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Skip the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home quickly with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, it's Chris Chandler, and I'm here in the studio with Mark of Mark Spain Real Estate. Mark, selling a home can be a stressful process. What's the biggest difference for sellers when they choose the guaranteed offer?
When you're selling a home the traditional way,
You're praying the buyer can get their loan. You're hoping the appraisal can come in at the price that's on the contract, because if it's not, it adds so much complexity and uncertainty. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, it's all cash, it's a quick closing, and you don't have the uncertainties of financing contingencies.
Thanks, Mark. With over 13,000 five-star reviews, you can trust the most experienced real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home fast and for maximum profit. Don't wait for your home to sell. Choose when you want to move and close with confidence. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
Think you're going to hear that soundbite a bunch in the coming days. That was Utah Governor Spencer Cox saying, "We got him." The him is the assassination suspect of the killing of Charlie Kirk, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. We'll have more on that at the bottom of the hour with Sabrina Cupid. Huge breaking story been following all morning long here on 95.5 WSB. This is great, Deborah. I just sent Vinny to make mail rounds for me. I just got an anniversary card from listener Barbara wishing Maya and I a happy 5th anniversary. Today was our anniversary, and I think you're rubbing off on me, Deborah, because I'm going to pat myself on my back for my anniversary gift today. So Maya, I don't know if it's a cultural thing or not, but she's addicted to those claw machines that you see in arcades. You know, where you get the stuffed animal. You go to Japan, they're everywhere. Anytime we see one of them, like the H Mart supermarket, Maya's like, I got to go play the... So I bought her for our 5th anniversary a commercial-sized, like, big boy claw machine.
Oh, my gosh.
Filled with all these stuffed animals and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I surprised her this morning with it. And I'm like, that was a Deborah Green gift. Like, because you're such a good gift giver.
I probably couldn't afford something like that, but that is very cool and specific to Maya.
Right? And we're going to have so much fun with it because, it's free. So Maya doesn't have to pay $1 to do it. But you could fill it in like the guy that sold it to me who runs this outfit. He's like, some people have them in their homes and they fill them with like little pony bottles of liquor. And they have a party, and people can try to, like, claw their...
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Anyway, happy anniversary to Maya. We're going to go see the Downton Abbey movie, and they go out to dinner tomorrow to celebrate. Oh, speaking of England, a story out of the United Kingdom. The ambassador, Gonzo, Deborah. What's going on here?
Yeah, so Prime Minister for Britain, Keir Starmer, had to fire the ambassador to the U.S., who is a politician named Peter Mandelson, because there were some revelations that he had a friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. So they were able to trace a bunch of emails, and the emails was evidence of their friendship. They discussed legal cases, some of them saying, Epstein shouldn't be charged. And, of course, he even has a message that appeared in that birthday book, and some of the stuff that's in there is pretty creepy.
Yeah, so apparently Bloomberg News got 18,000 emails from Jeffrey Epstein's Yahoo account. Didn't peg him as a Yahoo email account guy. And there was this conversation between Epstein and the UK ambassador, something about Epstein got him a $10,000 watch. Anyway, Vicky Barker has more in London.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. Britain's top diplomat in the U.S., Peter Mandelson, is out.
He has been withdrawn as ambassador with immediate effect.
That news just announced on the floor of Britain's parliament. Mandelson referred to Jeffrey Epstein as his best pal in that now notorious 2003 birthday book. The Epstein files remain a hot topic here and threaten to overshadow President Trump's state visit next week.
Because wasn't it Prince Andrew, Deborah? That was
yes.
He lost his regal or royal duties because of his relationship with Epstein. So again, Bloomberg got 18,000. Apparently, there were some incriminating emails between Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein talking about discrediting one of the accusers. Bombshell kind of stuff. So it doesn't appear that the Epstein files are going away. And in fact, the United Kingdom was like, "Oh, ambassador, you're in those files. You're out. You're out, my friend." All right, we're going to continue to update the breaking news. A suspect taken into custody last night in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He is 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Sabrina will have the very latest on that. When we come back, Deborah's got tickets to give away, and we're going to be joined, speaking of Bloomberg News, David Welch from Bloomberg. More information on the political repercussions and the trade future with us and South Korea after that huge Hyundai ICE raid. Social media is active, at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
It's the Love Your Home Minute from TE Certified. Hey, it's Chris Chandler with Josh, the local owner of TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And you know him. That's him you see jumping out of the back of their trucks. Josh, something you've done recently to help you love your home.
We recently had the TE HVAC team replace our basement HVAC system with the Daikin Fit. We install a lot of HVAC brands, but the Daikin Fit is my absolute favorite. The system's about half the size of the old one, but it's 40% more efficient, and it's absolutely silent, which is super nice because this one was actually installed outside of our bedroom. It's true variable speed, which means it removes humidity, so as it runs, it actually takes humidity out of the house, and it costs us less money to operate. We install hundreds of systems in Atlanta, and this has been one of our customers' favorite. And so I had to get one in my home, and I absolutely love it.
All right, Josh, that's great. Thank you. I believe a Daikin Fit system from TE will help a lot of our listeners love their home more.
TE certified, we love your home.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
Our weather can be crazy. Dry for days and drenched with storms. Extreme heat to bitter cold, and your roof takes all the abuse. Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. If your roof has problems, it may be showing you signs. Inside, look for wet spots on the ceiling or walls. Outside, check for streaks and stains or granules in the ground. If you find these, think of Findlay first. The perfect match for any roofing issues, and they offer 0% financing. Schedule your free roof analysis at findlayroofing.com. Roof.
At Shane Company, we've been engagement ring experts for almost 100 years. We have the largest selection of diamonds and gemstones in stock. You don't have to wait to compare them side by side. Find the one that speaks to you at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. An arrest in the Charlie Kirk assassination. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson charged with gunning down Kirk. Aaron Katersky has more on the investigation and Robinson.
The authorities say that in recent time, the family noticed Tyler Robinson, 22 years old, becoming a bit more political. We've spoken to some acquaintances of his who said they never heard him talk politically, but according to the family and what they told investigators, he had become more political, and at a recent dinner, he had even mentioned Charlie Kirk coming to the UVU campus.
And President Trump saying he hopes Kirk's killer pays the ultimate price.
Well, I hope he's going to be found guilty, I would imagine. I hope he gets the death penalty.
That's the president making those comments while appearing on Fox News this morning. He added that everybody liked Kirk and said, quote, he didn't deserve this. Kirk's casket was flown to Phoenix on Thursday on Air Force Two and was escorted by Vice President J.D. Vance. The president saying he plans to attend Kirk's funeral. Your weather for today, mostly sunny, hot and dry with an afternoon high of 90. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Dozens of cars are broken into early this morning at a Dunwoody apartment complex near Perimeter Mall.
So it occurred at 70 Perimeter Center East, and it occurred about 4:30 this morning when our night shift officers responded to the calls over there.
And Sergeant Michael Cheek telling WSB about 50 vehicles in all were broken into at Bell Perimeter Center Apartments. It's right across from Perimeter Mall. He says at least 2 firearms and a gun were stolen from the vehicles. Police do not have any information yet on suspects. The investigation's still active. Anybody with information being asked to call Dunwoody Police. A suspect is arrested in last month's break-in at the North Gwinnett Cooperative. Surveillance video shows a man forcing entry through a window and then stealing several $100s in cash. Gwinnett police identifying the suspect as 38-year-old Levon Hickman of Clarkston. He's currently serving a work release sentence at the Gwinnett County Correctional Institute for previous burglary convictions. Police say he left the facility prior to committing the August 19th burglary. He is now facing additional charges. Uber is being sued by the U.S. Justice Department for allegedly discriminating against people with physical disabilities. The lawsuit claims that Uber and its drivers routinely refuse to serve individuals with disabilities, including individuals who travel with service animals or who use a stowable wheelchair. Uber is also accused of charging extra fees for riders who need special accommodations, including canceling fees when service is denied. Uber says drivers who violate those laws are disciplined and even deactivated. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow's currently down 197 at 45,920. So the Dow's down almost 0.5%. NASDAQ is up and the S&P is up slightly. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, Sabrina. Another slow day through Ackworth and Kennesaw via I-75 southbound. It is all due to right lane construction near Barrett Parkway, exit 269. The brake lights stretch all the way back up to Highway 92, exit 277. Do yourself a favor. Consider using Highway 41, even 575 south, some alternates to get you around that construction. Elsewhere on the East Freeway, we have left lane construction in DeKalb 20 eastbound between Wesley Chapel Road and Panola Road. And coming out of the Stone Mountain area, if you're traveling 78 westbound to I-285, you'll encounter right lane construction just before Mountain Industrial Boulevard, exit number 4. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 90, lows tonight in the low to mid 60s. Staying dry with sunshine for this weekend. Saturday and Sunday morning lows in the mid 60s, daytime highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
Here in Midtown Atlanta, we have some sunshine and 77 degrees. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
When news breaks.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
We've got it covered.
We got him.
With news at the top and bottom of every hour and when it breaks.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political.
Tune in often for the latest.
Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark colored towel.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing.
They did the right thing. That's Utah Governor Spencer Cox. Still to come. More on the breaking news. The suspect apprehended in Utah. Denver's got tickets to give away, and our in-depth coverage of the ice raid at the Hyundai plant next on the Mark Arum Show.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years at gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked!
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years. Woo! The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today.
Did
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. What a week it has been. Thank you for joining us every single day, covering breaking news story after breaking news story. More on the huge news this morning, the apprehension of the assassin of Charlie Kirk, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. I'll give you some more info in just a second. But reminder, in 30 minutes, sorry, I did not give you a keyword in the 10 o'clock hour for the 5K day bonus splits because we were covering the breaking news. I'm going to make it up to you right after the new news. I'm going to give you a keyword, a chance for you to win $1,000. My bad on 10 o'clock, but it was just breaking news. We couldn't do it. But you'll get a chance to win $1,000 right before Eric Erickson takes the airways. But we do have something to give away right now. Let's give away some amazing tickets, Deborah, to an amazing rock show. Alice Cooper and whom and where?
Alice Cooper, Judas Priest, Ameris Bank Amphitheater on September 18th. That is next Thursday.
All right, next Thursday, Vin, The Drip, 8th caller to 404-872-0750. 8th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see. What a concert. Alice Cooper and Judas Priest, September 18th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. All right, updating the apprehension of 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Authorities in Utah say the suspect in custody, identified as that 22-year-old Utah resident. ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has more from D.C.
We believe the father saw the photograph, confronted Tyler Robinson about it, initially talked to him about turning himself in. The son apparently wouldn't do it, according to our sources. They then reached out to a member of the U.S. Marshals Task Force who got involved, and then they were able to convince this young man to wait. The marshals showed up. He was taken in. Law enforcement has often talked about how releasing photographs and using the public can be a force multiplier, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, unbelievable developments there on that breaking news situation. Again, we heard from FBI Director Kash Patel. The shooting occurred at 2:23 p.m. on campus of that university in Utah. I believe he said first responders there were within 12 minutes. I believe there was already police on the scene, but then the suspect taken into custody 10 p.m. yesterday, Utah time, apparently without incident. The mugshot now up on WSBRadio.com. Any new developments on that story, we'll bring them to you. I played this. I think this is worth replaying. This is an interview I did before the show and before we got the breaking news that the suspect was in custody. But a really good conversation about the political violence in the nation right now. ABC News correspondent and former counterterrorism coordinator at the Department of Homeland Security, John Cohen. John, are we staring at the abyss about to just fall off a cliff when it comes to political violence in the U.S.?
I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think, and you and I have talked about this before in the past, this country is in the midst of a highly volatile and dangerous threat environment. We are a polarized, divided nation. Increasingly, people view those who disagree with them not as people to debate, but people to hate as the enemy. We also have an increasing number of people, particularly young men, who feel that their life is so bad that the only way that they can address what they feel is a strong sense of personal grievance is by engaging in violence. We have an increased number of people in our society who believe that violence is an acceptable way to express your opposition to government policies, your opposition to one's political views, to target those whose lifestyles differ from yours. We also are seeing an increasing amount of criminal activity and violent activity fueled by an online ecosystem that's saturated with content that's purposely put there by foreign and domestic threat actors for the purposes of inspiring and instructing people how to engage in violence. That's the threat environment we're in right now. And, while I sound pretty pessimistic about it, there are bright spots. Just over the weekend, while we were focused on swatting calls across the country, we were focused on school shootings, we were focused on the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we also saw Pierce County, Washington, stop what was, in their words, a pending mass casualty attack by a young person. So we know we can stop these things, but we have to come together as a society and make it a priority to do so.
John, it seems like these things are happening more often than they were in the past. But this isn't a new thing, right? This goes back over the last decade or so, seeing these examples of, quote, political violence.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, back in 2011, we had the shooting of Congresswoman Giffords in Arizona. We had a shooting at a congressional baseball game. We had a kidnapping plot of Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. We had a district judge targeted in 2020 in New Jersey. We had the attack on Nancy Pelosi's household. We had the shooting of 2 New Mexico state legislators and their spouses. We had 2 assassination attempts against then-candidate, now President Donald Trump. We had a firebombing or a targeted arson of Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's house. So, I mean, over the last 10 years, your point is a really important point. We have seen a steady pattern of targeted political attacks. We also are seeing increased attacks directed at law enforcement, increased threats directed at election officials, and just was being reported the last couple of days, we're seeing an increased threat directed at Republican and Democratic members of Congress. And that's one point I would just want to stress, because sometimes it gets lost in the noise of our political discourse. This isn't one side being targeted by the other side. Both political parties, elected officials and candidates from both political parties are being targeted for this violence. So it's a problem that is in the vested interest of those of all political beliefs to address.
You mentioned the politicians, the candidates, the judges being targeted in this political violent environment. But Charlie Kirk, none of the above. He's just a political figure. Any advice for people that are in the public eye that talk politics, that might upset some people that watch them or listen to them? As someone that worked at the Homeland Security Department, do you think we'll see more public figures increase their security as they're out and about?
I think we will. I think that there's several answers to your question. First, law enforcement needs to change its playbook to some degree, and it's beginning to happen. They need to understand and fully realize that because of the political environment and threat environment we're in, events that in the past would not require stringent security measures need to be looked at differently.
That's John Cohen, ABC News, former counterterrorism coordinator. His take on the upswing of political violence. Continue our team coverage now. The huge story here in Georgia, the massive ICE raid at the Hyundai plant. Joining us live, covering the story for Bloomberg News, David Welch. David, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning.
We just updated a little bit earlier on the relocation of the 300-plus South Koreans that were sent back to Seoul on a flight out of here at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson. Related to this story, though, without these 450 illegal immigrants that were shipped out of the country, most from South Korea, we now get word that the operation of this battery plant, the opening of the battery plant and the finishing of the construction now going to be delayed. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so the CEO of Hyundai, Jose Munoz, was at the Automotive News World Congress in Detroit, and on the sidelines there told one of our reporters, Gabby Coppola, that the opening could be delayed a few months because in order to find some of those people replacements for the people who've been sent back, they'll have to rehire some American workers, and it might take a little bit of time to find the skill sets that those people had, the ones who've gone back to Korea, and so it's just going to hold things up. He said at least 2 or 3 months before they can get the plant open.
Interesting, this is, part of the huge campus, right? This is just the additional battery factory that was going to be built. What could that delay mean?
In some ways, when companies have to delay their electric vehicle or battery operations for a bit, it's not necessarily hurting them that much because, EV demand is down. The federal tax credits that help sell them, the $7,500, that's going away pretty soon. But Hyundai is one of the serious players in EVs. A lot of companies have pulled back because of all of that that's going on in the electric vehicle market. So the players who are left, who are really pushing this, are Hyundai, General Motors, and of course Tesla. So if Hyundai's really intent on continuing to push this, and I think they are, it'll delay them getting domestic sources for batteries, which are cheaper. Right now, they're still buying them from another supplier to keep making vehicles, and they were hoping to get their own on-site batteries made and shipped to their vehicles.
David, I'm sorry.
It is going to hold things up for them a bit.
Final quick question for you, David. Do you think there could be any long-term harm to the trade relations between the United States and South Korea because of what happened at that Hyundai plant?
No, the Koreans aren't happy about this, obviously, and it has made things pretty tense. And, they promised as part of the trade deal that they were working on with the Trump administration that they would invest a lot in the U.S. But if they can't send their workers over here without fear of these kinds of raids and a lot of red tape for visas and that sort of thing, then it may delay some investment. They could think twice about it. So it's until all of this gets ironed out and there's a smoother way to make sure these workers have visas and can stay there as long as they need to, it's going to be a bit tense, and it could be a little bit choppy in terms of some of these new projects down the line.
Big story. We're going to continue to follow it. David Welch, Bloomberg News. David, appreciate your time as always.
Thank you.
Speaking of visas, space race visas. What? Yeah, it's an interesting story on the space race and how visas might be impacted in the United States. I'll explain after a check of the Friday morning ride. Hopefully not too bad out there, Alex Williams.
Not too bad. We got our hot spots, Mark, and it's due to construction, especially up on the northwest side of town between Ackworth and Kennesaw. The left lane is blocked today, was right lane yesterday, left lane today. 75 south, approaching Barrett Parkway exit 269, and it's a slow one back to Highway 92 in Ackworth. Use Highway 41. Downtown, on and off the brakes through Midtown, 7585 South, 17th Street down toward North Avenue. And a few northbound delays as you leave I-20 trying to make your way up past Freedom Parkway, but luckily just volume there. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It doesn't have to be like this.
You don't have to put up with it.
Shutting down the ramp from 285 East.
You don't have to sit in it. It takes almost 30 minutes to go 400 South.
And you don't have to look at your phone to get out of it.
It is Atlanta traffic, and getting you out of it is what we do best.
We had a lot going on this morning through Henry County.
Updated traffic as often as you need it from local traffic reporters 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's a jackknife tractor trailer.
Triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB.
How Atlanta gets there.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's, but that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, president of Leaf Filter, gets a lot of interesting calls to his office when folks are ready to tackle their gutters.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh.
Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, skip the hassles of traditional home sales and sell your home quickly with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Now, there's no showings, no open houses, and that means no stress for you. Hey, your friend Sean Hannity here. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can skip the stress, make the most money, and close in as little as 21 days. Now, listen to their client Jerry's experience. Quote, "We needed to move quickly, and we were worried that the process would be lengthy and that we'd spend a lot of money on repairs. Mark Spain Real Estate got us an offer in just 3 days and over the asking price. It was amazing. I can't thank Mark Spain Real Estate enough. Now, Mark Spain Real Estate is the most experienced real estate team in the U.S., and you can trust them to sell your home fast and for maximum profit. Now, find out what your guaranteed cash offer would be with no obligation. Just go to markspain.com. Get your guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing."
My whole identity had been wrapped up in being a soldier. To have that so violently ripped from me when I was wounded, I was lost for a very long time. When Wounded Warrior Project came into my life, being around the other warriors, people that had similar experiences that I did, it was a game changer for me. Having King join the group, that was the beginning of a really good friendship. It's a good time.
I first heard about Wounded Warrior Project through CQ. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I qualify. But having been a part of it, it's kind of taught me that it's not just the wounds that you can see, but it's those that you can't.
When you do something like a peer support group with Wounded Warrior Project and come together from different walks of life, man, the growth is incredible. If not for Wounded Warrior Project, I really don't think that I'd be here today.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Hard. That's 63 years ago today on WSB Radio. President Kennedy reaffirmed his support for the manned space program. That was at a speech at Rice University in Houston. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Speaking of the space program, Deborah, space race visas, the headline of this story.
Yeah, so NASA has banned Chinese citizens with U.S. visas from participating in any of the agency programs because, China has said they want to go to the moon. They want to be able to establish some habitat there. But, of course, the U.S. wants to get there first. So this is actually affecting hundreds of scientists and researchers that have already been kind of working with NASA already, or even some people that come to the United States hoping, I'm going to eventually work at NASA. It's already affecting a lot of them.
So those are Chinese nationals that are here legally with visas that are working on the space program. I guess we either with NASA, maybe SpaceX or whatever. But now their visas, they're not going to be allowed to be working on the space program.
Specifically NASA.
I mean, you want the smartest people working on it, right? Whether they come from China, Timbuktu, or the Antarctic. But I get it, right? It's national security. You're in a space. I don't know. That's a tough call. That's a tough call if you would let foreigners.
They can't have access to the actual NASA facilities. They can't be on Zoom calls, and they can't have any access to their computing resources that they have.
I don't know if I understand why, but will that hurt our space development? If you're taking, obviously, if they're hired by NASA, they're smart people that can help with us getting manned mission. I gotta give me the weekend to think about that, Deborah, if you don't mind.
Okay.
All right, Deborah officially. Oh, I got a busy weekend this weekend though. I got my anniversary tomorrow. By the way, so I love my mom so much. She posted on Facebook, I think Longoria, you're friends with my mom on Facebook. She posted a happy anniversary picture of for celebrating my 5th anniversary with Maya, and she tagged me and Maya on it. But she has this picture from our wedding, and it's a picture of Maya not smiling. It's like us two together, and I got a grin on, and Maya looks like she's being held hostage. So I just added that to the post, a smiling picture of Maya. I'm going to post it on Instagram too, just so people know that Maya was not held hostage, was not an arranged marriage. She was there willingly.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, today is National Chocolate Milkshake Day today, and a Chicago Walgreens employee is said to have invented the modern chocolate milkshake by adding 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream to a chocolate malt.
There should be a sign in every Walgreens you walk in.
I know.
We invented
it.
the Mother Blanken chocolate milkshake.
I know.
I'm going to have one. My IBS be damned.
Okay.
My dairy, whatever, I'm going for it. Happy Chocolate Milkshake Day. Congrats to Walgreens. You know what? I'm going to give Walgreens star of the show. No, I'm kidding. We had, listen, Sabrina.
Are you guys ready for the
Great job covering the breaking news again. Fist bump, my friend, Bill Crane. Kelly Amanucci from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. David Welch made Vinny do some running. I'm not going to give David Welch from Bloomberg a star of the show. I will give one to John Cohen, though, from ABC. All right, it's been a crazy week. Who knows what the weekend is going to bring? Make sure you check in with WSB Radio throughout the weekend, tops and bottoms for news, weather, and traffic. And then we'll be back on the horse on Monday morning. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz right after the new news. Social media is active through my anniversary weekend. At Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay safe. Have a great Friday, Atlanta.
On that midnight train to Georgia.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Scamsters are working hard to con you, and there are things I want you to do immediately. I want you to lock your SIM on your cell phone. You don't know what that means? You don't know how to do it? Go to our briefing at clark.com. Number 2, never answer your phone unless the caller ID says it's a family member or friend. If it really is a legit caller, you call them back, but check the number first, not just the number they give you.
Just because there are so many window choices doesn't mean they're all good choices.
All windows are not created equal.
It's Ted and Jonathan from North Georgia Replacement Windows. And vinyl composite windows? They're a thing of the past.
Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows are beautiful, not big and bulky, and 8 times stronger than vinyl.
Experience the difference at your home or in our Alpharetta